Good morning, Kavra. Today is the 10th day of Sivan, and we begin a new chapter in Tanya, Shar HaYichud VeEmunah, chapter 3, Perigimel, page 84 in your Chayenu. Okay, having established earlier that creation is continuous by virtue of the divine utterance, the energy that propels existence nonstop, it becomes clear that ultimately the only true existence is a godly force, for without it, there's nothing. So Hashem is constantly keeping the world in existence with the 10 utterances that he used to create the world. In Perek Gimel, as we're going to begin now in bottom of page 84, the Alter Rebbe has explained that the activating force of Hashem must constantly be vested within creation, constantly recreating and reanimating everything in existence, something from nothing. And this force consists of the creative letters which emanate from the 5 supernal organs of verbal articulation. Of course, it's an anthropomorphism, because Hashem doesn't have a mouth and lips and teeth and everything else. However, that's what this is. Okay, V'hine 85. V'hine achrei hadvarim v'ha'emes ha'ila. Following these words of truth, which we discussed yesterday, that Hashem has to constantly be creating and giving energy to everything that he created. Kol maskil al davar yavin la'ashuray ech shechol nivra v'yesh u be'emes nechshav layin v'efes mamish. Every person who has a brain will understand clearly that every creature and being, even though it appears to have existed on its own, is in reality considered nothingness without Hashem. In relation to the activating force which creates it, and the breath of his mouth, so to speak, which is within it. Hashem, which brought every single thing, every single creation into being from absolute nothingness. So since this function must be continuous, it follows that the creature's activating force is a true reality of its existence. The being itself bears no comparison to the activating force which is responsible for its existence. The reason why everything feels and appears to exist in our reality is because we fail to see Hashem which is hidden within everything. We don't see the activating force behind it. We do not comprehend or see with our physical eyes the power of Hashem and the breath of his mouth, which is creating the thing. Obviously, right? If, however, Hashem gave us the ability and our eyes were permitted to see and to comprehend the life force and spirituality which is in every created thing, let's say we could see it, which was flowing from the mouth and the breath of Hashem, then the physicality, materiality, and tangibility of the creature would not be seen by your eyes at all. What would you see? You'd see Hashem. You wouldn't see what he would create. For it, this physicality is completely nullified in relation to the life force and spirituality which is in it. How come we only see the physical and not the spiritual? Because the spiritual, Hashem, is hidden. But if we saw Hashem, the creation would be nothing compared to Hashem, the energy that creates. Without spirituality within it, without the soul, without the energy, without Hashem giving it the power, it would be completely nothing, just as it was before it was created, before the 6 days of creation, at which time everything was non-existent. However, Hashem the spirituality that flows into it, whatever that creation is, you, me, the table, the grass outside, the trees, the plants, the animals, and even the rocks, which we talked about 2 days ago. The spirituality that flows into it, even the Evan, which proceeds, that's why Larry Stone likes that part, talks about him, which proceeds from the mouth of Hashem and his breath, that alone continuously brings it forth from nothing into being. And this spirituality, this chayos, this godliness, gives it existence. And if that's true, then there's nothing besides Hashem in any created being apart from what's the real Hashem? What's the real thing? Hashem, that's it. Hashem's the only true reality that brings it into existence. We see the opposite because Hashem is hidden to our eyes. That's why we see physicality. We don't see godliness. Mashiach comes, we're going to see godliness, and we're going to understand how everything exists, how everything can come into being. The created being does not constitute a true reality, as much as it's wholly dependent on godliness for existence. Indeed, its existence it consists of that activating force that constantly keeps it. Otherwise, it would disappear. The takeaway is as follows for today. Takeaway is true existence is the energy of existence. If you are the cause, then you're real. If you are dependent, then you're transient and flimsy. Shvach. Hashem is real. Hashem is the source of everything. Creation and man are null and void in comparison to him. Are we real? Here today, gone tomorrow. Life passes by very, very quickly. So take advantage of every opportunity to do a mitzvah, to make this world a better place while we still can. Have a great day, Chavra.